Today I wanted to comment about somebody who goes by the name Fedin Waititu. I said he goes by the name Fedin Waititu because he has changed his name so many times that he may be rivaling Zaire. Every now and then Zaire changes its name, and so is Waititu. Of course, he's a Kikuyu, and Kikuyus have a certain tradition which I have adapted, there where you find that one of my sons has all the three names that one of my brothers has. Yes, three of them. The way it is arranged and so on. They are namesakes. And among Kikuyus it happens so. But with the Kikuyu it's slightly different. Because if you are to name like my grandfather Davidson Kuguru, he had several sons called Kuguru because named after his father. So there was Peter Kuguru, there is Napoleon Kuguru, and others. All are Kuguru Wangifoine, but he gave them different Christian names to differentiate them. But if you have only one son, whom you are naming, let's say somebody, in many cases among Kikuyus, you adapt all the names, just the three the way they are, if possible. So the allegation that Ferdinand, okay, he grew up in Kibra, which is next to my primary school, Bagadi Road Primary School. Bagadi Road Primary School is 20 meters from Bagadi Hospital. So he grew up, it is not in contention that he grew up in Kibra, and there are stories that go on which he does not reply to, that he went to Bagadi Road Primary School. Others say no, there is a junior father of his. That is what we call some uncles in Bantwe. Junior father. There is a junior father of his who also called Waititu. And so it is the uncle who was in primary there, whatever. We have social groups, Facebook, WhatsApp, and so on, of our former school. And just like the police, if you pretend to be, if you impersonate a police officer, you cannot stay for a week unless, I mean, for you to be discovered, because when you start talking, there's a way. You'll be asked, when did you go to Kiganjo? After completing Kiganjo, where did you ABCD? And in the process, you'll mention, I was in such and such a place at such and such a time. Then somebody will remember, at that time, so and so was the OCPD where you are working. And he'll mention, and who was the OCPD during that time? That is how you'll be caught. If you claim to have been in a certain school in a certain time, and if there is a collection of people from the same school, you find that you'll be caught, because you may say you are in that school in such and such a year, and somebody is found who was in that school at that time, and nobody remembers you. I'm saying so because, take an example of Bagadi Road Primary School. We have somebody called Modeling Opar. Modeling Opar just went to Bagadi Road Primary School for 1 year, but there are so many people who know him. So you cannot just say you are in a certain school and you never mention the teachers there, you don't mention the prefects, you don't mention schoolmates. And then there was the confusion, is it Ferdinand Waititu to him or Ferdinand Waititu to his uncle? There's that confusion. He went to India, but you see the profession that he has undertaken, it's a very good profession. Because if you say that you are an accountant and you're given books to balance, if you're not an accountant, you'll be caught within 5 minutes by even non-accountants like us. So we know he's an accountant. In 2013, I not only voted for him, but as the governor for Nairobi, but I also talked to some people to vote for him, and he lost to Kidero, Evans Kidero. But I remember somebody, I think that fellow is dead now, who told me that, are you out of your head for not voting for Kidero and you vote for Waititu? The same Waititu later on, I think he was photographed collecting stones. And I may not be wrong if I say he once slapped a police officer in uniform, trying to jump over the fence, such a thing. And then the MP for Juja was killed. I think the people were, the other day, those who killed him were found guilty, and we are awaiting sentencing. He went and contested that, and then contested for governorship. Now, he and Sonko are in a constitutional lacuna, because the constitution talks about a governor being impeached, but the constitution has never talked about if that impeachment, it should even have a deadline. For example, if you're impeached, maybe you spend 5, 10, 15, or even 20 years, then the impeachment dies. But the way it is, somebody can go to court and say you're impeached, so you cannot contest governorship or any other position. The constitution also is silent where it talks of you being a governor for 2 terms. Now, does it mean that when you are impeached and you did complete your term like Sonko and Waititu, does it mean that if you contest for governorship, you'll start from a clean slate? It is so confusing. It's even supposed to be said, for example, we have governors who have been governors in a certain place for 2 terms. For example, Kidero used to be the governor for Nairobi, and he wants to be a governor in one of the South Nyanza counties. Does he go for 3 terms? I mean, if he's elected in Migori as the governor, can he again contest in Migori? Or could he, for example, a person like Sonko, suppose Sonko would have completed 2 terms in Nairobi, could he also go for 2 terms in Machakos? And I think he's somehow connected to Coast Province, Coast Region. But I came to record this because of the other day he was talking about convergence of Kikuyus to come together, and then in the next election they have a written memorandum whereby you say, if you are elected, this is what you are going to give us. From what he's saying, of course, he's trying to insinuate that the next president will not, most likely not be from the mountain or not be Kikuyu, but he was saying that whoever wants to be the president next time, which of course maybe is not even ruling out Ruto, because he says next time we enter into election, we want to have a written thing. We'll say, okay, upon being elected, this is what you are going to do for us. That is the politics of shareholding. But let me say this. There are occasions when the person who passes your information spoils your chance. What happens when he was talking, he was complaining about Kikuyus who were moved away, whose houses were dismantled next to the riverbank. Let us answer that. Among the people who are bringing these problems in Kenya, it is Fedin White. You remember Waititu constructed a house into a river, and he was even saying that if you construct a house into a river, use your own money to try and redirect it elsewhere. Redirect it elsewhere. So I think whoever is, and then I don't know, and I even blame Ruto for that. Uh, there was a time when in fact, Waititu was selected to be a member of the Nairobi River Commission. A member of Nairobi River Commission. It reminds me of that. There's a certain lady who used to be a blogger. I don't know whether she's still a blogger. And one time she tweeted and said, why should we have a national park next to the city? Those are very many plots which can be converted into shambas. And then when the new board for KWS was started, he was among those people. I think be carrying out diligent. Now taking Ruto appointing Waititu to be Nairobi River, somebody took that case to court and said, how can somebody who has said, and he was, and Waititu was, Waititu could not be sworn in until the case is decided. Now, he turns back against Ruto and says, next time we have a candidate who wants to be the president, he should write to the Kikuyus. Now the Kikuyus are now important. But if somebody would not have taken him to court for something that he himself did, he's the one who said, unatengeneza unakageuza kidogo kidogo. And he's appointed as an official of Nairobi River. And then when he's appointed an official of Nairobi River, somebody else takes him to court, and then he turns back and said he regrets voting for Ruto. Hai, sina la kusema.